Have you ever thought about a seed? Good seeds are little things that, if planted at the right time, the right place, and are tended to, become huge blessings down the road. Whatever seeds you're sowing today, seeds for your future, for your family, for your faith, or for actual food, you're at the right place. Welcome to the Sowing Seed Podcast. Now, here's your host who literally learned how to raise chickens from a podcast, Matt Miller.
Chickens are back in residence here at EIEIO. We have had as many as 150 plus chickens in residence here over the last, at times over the last 6.5 years that we've been here. For a while, the kids, when they were younger, would collect the eggs, clean them, sell them, that type of thing. And it was an opportunity for them to make some money and to learn some responsibility here around the farm as well. Well, now we're down to one at home, and she's not as keen on the whole animal idea just because a lot of the responsibility of day-to-day, letting them out and that type of thing, ends up falling on her shoulders, and I completely understand that. We had our flock slowly dwindle because of disease or, old age or, raccoons or skunks or whatever. And I guess it was about 1.5 years ago we finally lost our last batch of birds, I think, to some raccoons that were down getting into one of our coops at night. And I quite honestly didn't have time to go down and take care of the problem. So we took about 1.5 years break. We had started going back to the store and buying eggs and all that. And quite honestly, I got to where I wanted to be able to go down the hill and collect eggs once again. But I think even more important, I wanted to hear those roosters crowing throughout the day that used to be such a part of life around here, and it's been so much more quiet in the 1.5 years since they've all been gone. So I went online. We always buy our birds from McMurray Hatchery and ordered a selection of layers and got them in here at the beginning of September, so here about 3 weeks ago now. They're out in the detached garage in a feed trough or a water trough for cattle and are absolutely growing like weeds. I've realized that when you get the chicks can make a really, really, really big difference, especially as it relates to temperature in mortality when they're being raised from as baby chicks on up. Knock on wood, we got 21 birds in, and to date, 3 weeks in, we still have 21 left, which we have never had happen before. Part of that is we've done a pretty good job of keeping things clean and that type of thing. But I think also the time of year is huge because we've always tried to have them brought in and raise them in the spring. And oftentimes there's still enough chill in the air despite the heat lamps and everything that I think, we end up losing some that way. So anyway, I think I've decided that from here on out, we're definitely going to make sure that we get any birds that we end up raising during the summer months so that heat and not cold ends up being the prevailing condition as they're young, as they're growing their feathers before they get set outside. My guess is within the next week, we're going to move them outside. I've got to get back to reading again and remember exactly what is going to work best. We're still wrestling with where we're going to put them. I've got a small enclosed structure that is down the hill that I think I'm going to pull up into one of our fenced-in areas and set up shop for them there is what I think we're going to end up doing. But anyway, having fun. Once you get a handle and a hang of raising them, it's really, really, really easy. In fact, we just have to check on them now in the morning and in the evening just to make sure that they've got food and water and that their water is clean and that type of thing. So it's been a really, really painless process this time. You know, we made a lot bigger deal of this in our early years when we were doing it for the first or second time. There's not as much excitement about the birds themselves and all that today. It's more of, okay, we got to go through this process and get them to about the 6-month point before they start laying. And knowing what we know now, have learned enough to do that pretty efficiently without having a big impact on everything else going on around here. So excited about having some new birds, excited about having eggs here in the spring again, being produced here at the farm, and just excited to hear those roosters crowing here when they're ready to start crowing.
Thank you for listening to the Sowing Seed Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a 5-star review in iTunes or your podcast player of choice. So until next time, go plant the seed you need to succeed.